Something was screaming. Did you hear that? So I got my new oil cooler here, new filters, intake manifold gaskets, and this right here is the high pressure oil pump and the IPR valve. These things have a core charge on them, so when I mail these things back to Full Force Diesel, should be getting 250 bucks back, which is always nice. And also, I've got the valve covers off, or the driver's side valve cover, because I was gonna do the standpipe and dummy plugs while I was in here. Passenger side is a pain because you got to deal with the heater box, but I didn't buy valve cover gaskets, and money's tight around here, so I might just go ahead and pop that valve cover back on and pretend like I was never here. Okay. O-rings are down in there. Okay, next piece here. So we got a couple big O-rings to go on there. Well, I've got these two little O-rings. I could not remember where they went, so I had to go and look it up. And they go in between cooler and the housing underneath here. So I get to take this thing back apart and do it the right way this time. Sick. Well, this job just got a little bit longer. I was torquing down the bolts for the little outlet cover right here, and that one snapped. So hopefully I can pull this off, and there might be some threads showing. Oh. Nope. Broke it off flush. A new cover is 200 bucks. So let's just see if I can drill this thing out and get it out. That one snap bolt just added a bunch of time to the job. Imagine that. But you can see I got the tent taken down. We're supposed to be getting a thunderstorm here pretty quick, and it was starting to get a little windy, so rather than trying to tie that thing down. Those 20-foot easy ups are pretty expensive, so figured I'd just fold it up, let this storm pass, and then I'll put it back up and get back to work probably tomorrow morning. Okay, while we're waiting for the thunderstorm, which hasn't shown up yet, but you know, whatever. Might just get back on the truck tomorrow. I don't know. A box showed up. This is a used turbo because, as you guys saw in a previous video, my turbo was junk. So we're gonna see if this used turbo is junk. Hopefully not. There's one box. Okay. Box number 2. It's wrapped in plastic and tape. Hopefully this doesn't leak oil all over my kitchen table. Pretty rusty. As long as it spins, I guess that's what's important. Oh yeah. Nice. There is absolutely no play. Yeah. This will work. Little rusty. I believe that is the stock 13-wheel housing. Look down inside here. 12, 13. Alright. Stock turbo. Totally fine. No shaft play. We're good. Day 2 out here on the truck, and we're starting the day off with the oil cooler back out and a set of easy outs. So, you know, not good. I have never successfully used one of these. I don't think I know anybody that has successfully used one of these. Until today. I've spent all day on this stupid freaking oil pump. It's making me mad. I need a long 6mm hex key for a ratchet. 1/4 inch, 3/8, whatever, doesn't matter. No store around here sells anything like that. So I've got a cheap hex key. I've got a cheap 6mm socket. Fits in there. Problem is, it's a 90. So I'm going to cut it off. Battery's dead. Perfect. Now what I should do is weld that together, but what I don't have is welding wire. So we're going to use some ultra red gasket maker. It's a nice big glob of RTV in there. And then just smush it down in there. Boom. Make your own tools 101. I need one of them topside creepers. If anybody wants to donate to the channel. Topside. Oh. It's a good thing I got this old truck to stand on. So that's why it's important to bring old cars home, because you need something to stand on. You gotta stand on one while you work on the other one. That's the thing. That's what you do. Here we go. Now I can work in the shade. Yeah. Okay, big progress. After I got that bolt extracted, I was able to get the oil cooler housing in, and then I just got to work with, well, you guys saw me. I think I recorded that. So the high pressure oil pump is in. The turbo pedestal and drain are in, and the oil cooler housing is down there. The oil filter is up there. I gotta slow down just for a second and start looking at some of these wires that I unplugged, because I think some of these actually have to go kind of underneath this stuff. So that might be coming back off, which, you know, par for the course. But right now I gotta run to the hardware store because I gotta replace the bolt that I snapped. Time to close up shop. Perfect. Trying to figure all that out is going to be difficult because I didn't take any pictures. So, yay me. But before I get too far into that, we need to put this guy on. This is a used turbo that my uncle actually got for me. And it doesn't have any play. It spins just fine. No in and out play. My turbo had 20 thousandths of an inch. And as far as like in and out, not supposed to have any. So you can have a little bit side to side because it's a thrust bearing. And if there's no oil pressure in here, there's nothing to keep that thrust bearing in place. So we'll bolt this guy on next before we get too much into this mess. And yeah, it's just gonna be trying to remember how all this stuff goes back together. Awesome. Well, I don't have a gasket for the intake horn. Pretty sick. It's always like the cheap parts that are holding things back. Right, Hank? Yeah. Hank gets it. Jack? They're like, what'd you build, Dad? I built a fort. No girls allowed. Turbo's in, tightened down. Feed line is back on. I got the O-ring in last night, about 5 o'clock for this. That's done. Still need to bolt that fan shroud back up and put my top piece back on. I'm gonna wait to do that to give myself the most amount of room to put this alternator in. And that's the last thing I gotta plug in on this side. And then I just gotta put some hose clamps back in place. I've got my vacuum lines all hooked up. I've got one vacuum line, or maybe it's a coolant line, I don't know. Something's gotta go there. I think it's a vacuum line. That guy needs to go over here. Just need to get some pliers, and then I can put my boot on there, alternator, charge pipe down to there, and then the passenger side of the engine bay is totally back together. We're getting there. Half-inch ratchet and jack handle. Just the way it's got to be sometimes. Now, everything that I have ever seen about these 6.0 tensioners, everybody's like, oh, there's a little tab on the bottom and you just get the tension off and you lift that tab up and it locks it in place. Mine doesn't have that. I don't know why, but it doesn't. It's not there. I did order a set of these rubber grommets for the injector controller, but I ordered them a long time ago, and the other two are at my shop. So I'm just going to put the back ones in for right now, because the front ones are pretty easy to get to. So that just sits on top of the valve cover like that. The injectors plug in here. And then I got some shiny new bolts that'll hold her down. GoPros are just out here doing what GoPro does, and you know, decided to switch to the phone. Hopefully everything goes okay. Got a new D-gas bottle. The other one was starting to split at the seams, so O'Reilly's was nice enough to warranty that out. These are also not the right pliers, but a little closer. That slides in there. That slides in there. This goes down here. And now that I've got all this stuff in my way, I just realized that I never put the clamps back on the exhausts. So hopefully I can get my hands back there. Sick. Well, that was super not fun. No good way to film it, but that clamp, and then there's one more on the other side here. And that clamp back there. Focus. Focus. There you go. That guy. right there. That's the one on the side is for the up pipes from your exhaust manifold, comes up into the turbo, and then the big one on the back here is the exhaust. Should have put those on as soon as I got the turbo in, but you know, sometimes you just get on a roll and you forget stuff and you just make things harder on yourself, which is what I do. So yep, now it's looking like I just got to put the batteries back in and the intake, fill it with water, fill it with oil, change the fuel filter up here. There's another one underneath the truck, and then we should be ready to start this thing. Now it's time for our super awesome heavy duty specialty diesel coolant. It's the good stuff. Yeah, I guess that means it's the moment of truth. Now, these things take a second to build oil pressure, so it's going to take a minute to crank. We got lights on. I could hear the injectors firing. I could hear the vacuum pump. I think we can take down the fortress now. Big reveal. This thing still sounds like it's got a little bit of a miss. I don't know. Let's go drive it. Valve, that's pretty sick. All right, we're not gonna go too far, but I gotta drive it around and make sure that all the temps stay where they're supposed to stay and the truck doesn't overheat or blow up or, you know, all that stuff. I can tell you this right now, that turbo is way better. I didn't realize how bad my turbo had gotten because it was like slowly wearing out over time, and so it just kind of got a little more laggy, you know. This thing has zero play in it, so it's like right now. I still have something clunking in the front end, probably a ball joint. but none of that stuff has been worked on in years, like a long time. So probably need to go ahead and put some ball joints, inner and outer tie rods and all that. Something was screaming. Did you hear that? I just blew the boot. Crap. Oh man. Shit. Oh. It's the upper boot. All right. We're good. I have one glove. Sure was nice for Ford to give you that little cutout in the bumper, so you have a place to stand when you're working on your truck on the side of the road. Let's see if it starts up any better this time. Getting a little bit better. I'm gonna have to drive down here and find a place to turn around because these Ford Super Duties have a turning radius of a school bus. I've just been cruising around kind of some back roads and it's running super good. I can't complain. There was a little bit of a whistling happening and I can't see anything. I checked the plastic charge pipe. I want to change that anyways just because, you know, a plastic charge pipe's kind of lame. But we're getting out on the highway here and I can put my foot down. It's running really good. Our temps are within 5 degrees of each other. That's awesome. That is freaking awesome. I'm so happy right now. My truck is back together. It's back on the road. I got about a quarter tank in it. Can't complain about that. The only downside, there's always got to be a downside. The only downside is I'm not going to make the trip to California. So I was going to go out there with my brand new trailer and bring back, and I was going to bring back another project, 2 projects actually. And I just can't make it happen this coming week. So it'll still happen, just at a later date. The whole 1 week to get the truck finished is, I mean, now I got more time, I guess, to troubleshoot if something does happen. If I would have taken that trip, it would have been not really tested, not untested, but also not tested, you know what I mean? But yeah. I'm pumped. Just pulling back into the neighborhood right now. Gonna park the truck. Sweet. 5 degrees. Oil temp's 197, coolant's 192. And I've been driving around for the last 45 minutes. Stop and go, putting my foot down, slowing down, speeding up. All within the legal limits, of course. I do still get a check engine light for the glow plugs though. So everything, oh, I better turn that down, huh? I do still get a check engine light for the glow plugs. So that is probably the glow plug controller or maybe the harness. I don't know. But the glow plugs on the driver's side are all brand new. Motorcraft, Ford Motorcraft, brand new plugs. The harness from the controller to the plugs looked pretty good. But I did see some chafed wires in that wiring harness that was moving around, so that could have something to do with it. But we shall see. Come on now. But that's gonna do it for us on this one. Truck's back on the road. I got tools to clean up. I got a video to go edit. I'll see you guys later.